Hello, my paper peeps. I have been on this scrapbooking creative journey for approximately 13 years now, and I have come to the realization that I am addicted to this craft. And I find there are certain scrapbooking tools that are essential and a must-have on my craft table. So here are my favorite scrapbooking tools that I cannot live without. Okay, the first must-have is the Tim Holtz transparent ruler. I love this because it's in inches, and that's normally how most crafters craft and measure it in inches. So I found that this was an invaluable tool to have. Now, my next one is this Mr. Pen or Panga plastic T ruler. It's used for drafting and general layout work. What I usually do, especially if I'm making cards, is I like to line up. If I'm adding a sentiment or an image on the card, then I really like that T ruler portion of the ruler because it just allows you to line the edge of the card up with the ruler, and then you can actually line up your stamps if need be, or in this case just a sentiment that I wanted to make sure was centered. Okay, this next one, don't laugh at me. This is actually a toothbrush holder, and if you've watched any of my videos, I always have this out on my craft table. I love it. I don't use it for my toothbrush. It's called Urban Strive non-slip toothbrush holder, and you can find this. I'll put in the link in the description box below. But I use this for holding pens, but more specifically my Ultrabond adhesive that I love. It keeps the adhesive at your fingertips. It's an easy access way of getting your glue out because, you know, who wants to sit there and shake the glue to get it to come to the bottom? So I find that this is by far one of the best tools to have. Even though it's a toothbrush holder, it's great for your pens or for your adhesive like this. The next must-have, absolute essential on my craft table is the Glossy Accent. I love this because it's acid-free. It actually gives you the 3D effect to your crafting. So it's a clear gloss medium, which is used to brighten and just add dimension and magnify your artwork. However, you can use it actually under your embellishments too to make them stick. Again, you can also place them on top of embellishments to protect and add that glossy overlay that a lot of people love. And again, I like the fine tip of it, so you can use it for your gems. And so yeah, I kind of use it a lot for that. Okay, the next one is probably my favorite purchase of the year. It's the Silhouette Cameo Pick-Me-Up pen. I love this thing. You know, I don't know how many times I have struggled with placing little sentiments or little rhinestones or gems on my crafting. This thing is a lifesaver. I mean, really, who should have to struggle with like picking up these little mini things? But honestly, this thing is awesome. I have it in the description box below for you as well. But the tool has this tacky tip for picking up and placing small objects like your paper pieces and rhinestones. But it actually, that tacky tip, as it starts to wear off, you can just remove it and just spin the top of it, and a new kind of fresher, tackier tip will be available to you. But I don't find that I have to remove that often, so this thing can last forever. I love this thing. My next favorite is alcohol. I have these cotton pads and alcohol on my table at all times. It's great for wiping up ink, wiping up paint splashes. It's awesome for removing ink off of some of my mats. And even if you love working with wax seals, then it is perfect for removing and keeping the spoon clean while you work. If you've ever done any wax seal work, it can be quite messy and that spoon gets so gunked up. And so this is a way to keep it clean without you having to scrub away at the spoon later on. The next on my list of must-haves are these ink blending tools. Now, I've been using the Tim Holtz blending sponges for years, the flat ones, and I was perfectly fine with them. However, I felt like I had to replace them a lot. But again, when you use something for many years, it's not a big deal. You're like, whatever, I can deal with it. Mind you, then I came across these mini round ink blending foams, and oh my gosh, they're a lifesaver. They are great. I love them. They actually withstand the test of time. Like, they are sturdy compared to the blending sponges. So those are a must-have. I do like these inking brushes, which again are invaluable. If you can get your hands on these, I'll put a link in the description box below for you. They're different from the ink foams because it gives you a different look. So if you want something more diffuse, it's kind of a softer look, then these brushes are amazing. Now, if you want something that's more saturated, then the ink blending foams are great for that. They give you more definition if you're working in a confined space and really want more definition to your art. But if you want that diffuse kind of look, that vintage diffuse look, then the brushes are amazing for that. Okay, my next favorite find for this year is the Waffle Flower Stencil Mat. Oh my goodness. Seriously, I don't know why I didn't have this before, but this thing is amazing. And it's non-slip, it's waterproof, it's actually heat resistant. It has a non-reflective surface on it, and it's about 9 by 12 inches. And the great thing is that it has these edges here. Now, if you're wondering what those edges are for, those raised edges form a corner to help you hold your stencils or your paper in place. And then the open ends are obviously if you have large pieces of paper, so it allows you to kind of work off of that. It also has a non-slip back, which allows the mat to stay in place while you're using it. But one of the things I love about this mat is that it's easy to clean. Most pastes, paints, and inks are easily removable. I just use hot soapy water to rinse off the ink. If for some reason it's been sitting in there a while and you need kind of more vigorous cleaning, then like I said, the alcohol is perfect for removing any ink. And if you don't want to take it to the sink and wash it right away because you want to use it throughout your crafting project, then just wiping it up with an alcohol is perfect. Okay, the one thing though with this mat, please don't do what I did. I was wanting to get one of my crafting videos out to you, and I needed to cut something, and guess what I did? I took an X-Acto knife to this mat. Don't do that. It does everything else, but it's not a self-healing mat. So FYI, no cutting on this mat. Now, my next favorite is the self-healing cutting mat by Recollections. And it's 6 inches by 9 inches, so it's quite small. But I like this for that reason. If you need to do any little cutting, that's great. But I think it's like $15, $20. If you don't want to spend that kind of money, then you can always go to your dollar store. I found this pink one that was like $2.50. Oh my gosh, it was awesome. If you do a lot of embossing, then this Antistatic Pouch by Ranger is a must-have. It ensures that you have like that ideal embossing surface. So what you do is you prep the surface first with this Antistatic Pouch so that when you do add the embossing powder, it doesn't cling to anything else but your prepared surface or that stamped surface that you've used Versamark on. What it does is it actually removes static from the paper, from acetate, from fabric, other materials. So I think you would not go wrong by purchasing this one. Okay, another essential is the Tonic Tim Holtz stamp platform. If you make a lot of cards like I do, oh my gosh, this thing is an invaluable tool. You need this. It just allows for that precision stamping of rubber or clear stamps. What you do first is you just line up the image on your paper, and then you pull the stamp mat over it to pull the stamp up. And yeah, so it's a great way of lining up your stamps and having like that accuracy that we're always wondering, wow, how did they do that? So anyways, there you go. It's made so that you can't go wrong, that you can actually double stamp your images. Say, for example, you didn't get a very clear stamp image and you're like, oh darn, like I need to restamp this. Well, it allows you to restamp right away and accurately. So especially if you're doing like birthday cards or just multiples of anything, I highly recommend this. This is great for that. Then you just stamp away and it's like an assembly line. And last but not least is this Nuvo craft spoon. You're probably wondering why it's still in the package if it's a must-have. Well, after years of using embossing powder and now these mini prills, I've come to the realization that to maintain or to localize the mess and to keep everything from going everywhere, something like this is ideal and is great to have in your craft arsenal. So I hope you like this. Go ahead to the description box below if any of these tools interest you. Honestly, from someone who's been crafting for a very long time, you would not go wrong purchasing any of these tools. So take care. I hope to see you in my next videos. We'll see you then. Bye.